Hello guys. Today I thought I just looked over the news and it seems like in this upcoming reset, December 19th, a lot of classes are gonna get buffed and some are gonna get nerfed. So I just thought I would make a video going over these things. First of all, Demon Hunters, Sigil Flame damage reduced by 10%, so that's both for DPS and tank. It's okay. I mean, it's not gonna break the class at all. I mean, they're still so strong in both DPS and in tanking. So Havoc got collective anguish, the talent. The Fell Devastation part is reduced by 10%. Rage Fire is reduced by 5%. It's now 30%, was 35, so 5% down. It's a bit. And a Fire Inside changes chance to reset immolation aura reduced to 25 was 30. So overall, the Demon Hunter, it's a nerf, yeah, but it's not by a lot. Like, Demon Hunters are still an S tier DPS and tank, and this change is probably an overall of maybe 3%, maybe 4%. So not that big of a difference, but nice to see that Blizzard does something. Next up, Devastation Evoker Pyre damage increased by 15%, and damage by all spells and abilities increased by 3%. This is nice. It's fine. Pyre is like their biggest AoE DPS, so that being buffed by 15% is decent. Preservation. Resonating Sphere once again applies echo to the first 5 allies it passes through, was 3. This one is huge, both for Raid and Mythic Plus. This one is gonna be really nice. So, Preservation Evoker may be rising. This one is one of the most odd things about all of these changes, because these are changes for the mage. So Arcane Mage, first, Arcane Blast damage and missile increased by 6 and 10%. That's okay. I mean, the 4 set really benefits from missile damage. But the next one is Fire. This one is really strong. Fire Blast damage increased by 12%, Pyre Blast increased by 5%, Fireball increased by 10%, Flame Strike increased by 12%, and Intensifying Flame now increase Ignite damage by 25%, was 15%. Fire is gonna be even more nuts than it is now, which doesn't really make that much sense. So far, the only, one of the best push groups in the game right now has completed 2 30s, and a Tal'Dazar and a Blackrock Hold. And in both of those runs, there was a Fire Mage doing insane amount of damage. So if we just really fast take a look here, these are the top DPSs right now on Radar.io, so the highest Radar.io. Let's just see. Okay, second place, Fire Mage. 8th place is I believe it's a Frost Mage, to be honest. Yeah, Frost. 12th is also gonna be Fire, if I'm not completely wrong. Yeah, Fire Mage. And 15th is a Frost Mage. Okay, so just at top 15, 4 of those are mages, and 2 of those are Fire Mages. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty nuts, especially since the next change is Frost. Frostbolt damage increased 15, Ice Lance damage increased by 12, Flurry damage increased by 10, and Glacial Spike increased by 6. So Mage is gonna be popping from now on, no doubt. Windwalker Monk, probably one of the worst DPS in the game right now. And I hate it because I love playing Windwalker. It's an amazing, it's a super fun spec. So, Spinning Crane Kick damage increased by 20%, Blackout Kick increased by 10%, Rising Sun Kick increased by 8%, Fist of Fury increased by 8%, Blackout Reinforcement increased to 250, was 200, so this is their 4 set. Glory of Dawn, damage increased by 12, and Chance. Now, damage of Chi-Chi bonus increased to 300, was 200. So, this one, combined by Spinning Crane Kick damage increased by 20, and the fact that Blackout Reinforcement is also increased to 250, plus their 4-set. Monk, maybe they're really gonna get there now, because this most of it is pretty nice, but the biggest changes and also into their 4-set and so on, it's gonna be really interesting to see what they do next. Mistweaver, Unison heals now. Unison now heals a second ally for 35, was 50. Enveloping Breath increased by 10, and Essence Fund reduced by 8. This is mainly for raiding. It's getting a bit of a down tune, not by much. It's a fine. I think it's not gonna break the spec at all. Doesn't really matter in Mythic Plus. Red Paladin, all damage increased by 3%. That's fine. Red Paladin can deal out a lot of damage, but yeah, that's okay. Shadow Priest. Shadow Priest Psychic Link now causes damage, direct damage split to inflict 25% of their damage to all other targets by Vampiric Touch, was 15. This one actually got, this is actually a reversion, because this has actually been there before, and it got a Giga nerf because of their Psychic Link. So this is gonna be super nice, but Shadow still has the downside of having a weakened PI, and their Master Spell is still pretty iffy. So it's a nice change. I don't think it's gonna give them the room they need, but we'll see. Holy Priest, all healing increased by 3%. That's nice. Prayer of Mending healing increased by 15. That's okay, I guess. I mean, for raid they can deal out a lot of HPS, but other than that, Rogue, Assassination Rogue is just a flat out damage reduction by 3%. That's fair. Elemental Earthquake damage increased by 50%. That's gonna be pretty nice. Enhancement, Elemental Warding now reduced magic damage taken by 3 and 6%, was 2 and 4. I mean, it's fine. It's not really that much. Resto Shaman. Turn now increased the initial heal of Riptide by 15 and 30, was 10 and 20. Healing Surge increased by 12, and Healing Stream Totem increased by 12. It's gonna be fine. I mean, right now the tanking and the healing of especially keys is actually pretty decent. There are a few outliers, but I mean the tuning is actually quite decent. This one, for me personally, is gonna be amazing. One of my favorite specs of all time is the Affliction Warlock. So Seed of Corruption damage increased by 10. Soul Rod now applies to 4 additional targets, up from 3. And Dark Harvest now increased crit and haste by 4% per target, up from 2.5. So this just means before this increase in crit and haste only went up to 10%, but it's now going to be on 4 additional targets, up from 3. So instead of 10%, it's gonna be 5 targets with 4%. So that's 5 times 4, that's 20. That's 20% increased crit and haste when you pop Soul Rod. This one, I hope so dearly it's gonna be enough, combined with their 4-set and their new playstyle into the Soul Rod build. I really hope it's gonna be enough, but I really doubt it. But hey, one can dream. And last one, Destruction Warlock. Rain of Fire increased by 12, Cataclysm damage increased by 25, Immolation damage from Infernal and Blasphemy increased by 25, and Immolate damage increased by 10. I mean, they really needed it. This is probably still not gonna be enough. It could be enough, but then they basically had to scrap their tier set. But it's okay. I think it's super nice that Blizzard are actually doing these big tunings, both buffs and nerfs. I'm always strongly against nerfing too much. I would rather see people buffing the bottom line, so that I don't care if people are running 30s or 40s. I mean, instead of making a spec feel bad, make the bad, like the specs that are feeling bad, make them feel good instead. But hey, so those are the class changes that are coming December 19th. Just wanted to throw in my thoughts and show you guys the new class changes. I'm gonna be linking this article down below. Thank you guys so much. I'm probably live right now on Twitch. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.